Hello everyone, welcome back to the 90 More podcast. My name is Kosi. Welcome back to a brand new video. Manchester United have agreed a deal in principle to sign Real Madrid defensive midfielder Casemiro, according to Fabrizio Romano. Now, according to Carlo Ancelotti, has been speaking in his recent press conference ahead of the weekend, and he has confirmed the intentions of Casemiro to leave the club. He confirms that Casemiro has communicated to the club hierarchy that he will be leaving Madrid and joining Manchester United. He has already agreed to a bid that has been tabled to him by Manchester United. Man United will proceed by bidding an official offer to Real Madrid to make sure that the midfielder signs for them before their Monday clash against Liverpool. Now, according to Carlo Ancelotti, he confirms that Casemiro's decision to join Manchester United, I have spoken with him. He wants to try a new challenge. We understand his decision and negotiations are ongoing, but he has decided to leave Real Madrid. Ancelotti also says that Casemiro will not play on Saturday. A replacement at the moment is not being looked at. We have signed Oren Tchouameni and is one of the best in the market. Then we have Cruz and Camavinga in that area. We are not trying to sign a new midfielder. Yesterday, I realized it was a real thing. Casemiro to my Manchester United, and my plans will not change. That is Carlo Ancelotti when asked about Casemiro and a potential replacement. He has also further said that my plans are not going to change with Casemiro leaving, as we have Modric, Cruz, Tchouameni, Ceballos, and Fede Valverde, including Camavinga as well. 6 midfielders are enough for this season. There are very, very many and very, very good. And he also said that the decision to join Manchester United is now well communicated with the club from Casemiro. He wants to try a new challenge. We understand this decision and we will not stand in his way. So Madrid have actually told Casemiro he can leave. Manchester United have tabled a huge contract for the player. Now, according to Fabrizio Romano, we understand that it is not going to be double the wages that he's been earning at Real Madrid, but it's going to be one of those very, very huge contracts. It will see him as one of the most paid players at Manchester United. Of course, we understand that he wants to join Cristiano Ronaldo and Rafael Varane, players that he's worked with at Real Madrid, and that is a key decision in him coming to Manchester United. But personally, I feel, however much Casemiro is 30, Manchester United are really getting a very big prospect, a very good player in Casemiro. They've been looking at a defensive midfielder for quite some time, and you cannot argue that right now in the game there are not very many decorated defensive midfielders like than Casemiro. 5 Champions League titles, 4 La Liga titles, and a couple of other titles. You cannot disagree with the fact that he's a very, very good defensive midfielder, and the fact that he's been playing in that Real Madrid side that has been so dominant, that has been very, very successful, keeping your spot, in that team with the likes of Cruz, with the likes of Luka Modric. You need to be good, but it's not about Casemiro's quality that Manchester United will care. It's about what he brings to the table, and that is where I think they've really made a very huge, humongous decision to get Casemiro, because first and foremost, the experience he brings with them on the table, the kind of pedigree. Like I said, he's won 5 I was about to say the Premier League, but he's won 5 Champions League titles. Now, however much Madrid have made the Champions League an easy go-to title, it is not that easy. Clubs like Arsenal, clubs like Tottenham Hotspur are looking for that title for the first time in their existence. Of course, the likes of Man United have won it, but if you ask yourself, when did they last win it? That is what tells you that the Champions League is a very, very huge trophy. So the experience he brings with them to Manchester United, it is something they are lacking. Scott McTominay and Fred in that midfield, however much you feel they played together for some time and they formed that kind of relationship and communication pattern, they do not have the pedigree to play in that defensive midfield for Manchester United. But also, I think he's a mentality monster. We've seen it with Real Madrid last campaign. The fact that they came back from behind to beat Manchester City in that dramatic 3-2 turnaround. Of course, the likes of Karim Benzema and Modric inspiring whatever happened. But the mentality of that Real Madrid side whoever you sign from there, whichever player you get from there, they're going to share that piece of mentality. They're going to share that I think they will inherit. It's now inheriting them, their mentality monsters. They don't give up before it's over. Man United, they lack something like that. It's only Cristiano Ronaldo, you would argue, or even Rafa Varane. I think those are the only players you can argue that have that kind of mentality. This is a big club. This is Man United, and you don't give up before it's over. Madrid did show us that last campaign in the UEFA Champions League under Carlo Ancelotti. Fantastic. And I think that is what Casemiro is going to bring to this Manchester United side. They will have moments where it's not going very well, but can you hang on? Are you going to be that resilient? And I think the kind of resilience they need, players like Casemiro is one to bring that to the table. He's a very hard-working, defensive midfielder. If you look at his statistics on SofaScore, just like you'll see there on your screen, he's one of the most, well-performing players in his category, in that area. Most of his statistics actually defensively are in the 96, 97, 95 percentile. And that is exactly what you're looking for. That is what Man United have been looking for for the last 6 years. A defensive midfielder, a holding midfielder that can help them pick up that ball in deeper areas and also retain it, but also progress it and make sure that in transition they don't lose it as quickly as they can. So and as quickly as they've been losing the ball. And that is what Casemiro brings to Manchester United. Now, whether it's a wise decision to invest over 70 million euros in a 30-year-old Casemiro, while the likes of Ruben Neves are there, while the likes of probably Frankie de Jong, who doesn't want to join them, are there. And the market is full of defensive midfielders, and the market is full of holding midfielders. That is a question that will be answered in the next 2 or 3 years, because at 30, players these days do have that longevity. So Casemiro can stay at Man United for the next 4 years until he's 34, 35. We've seen it with the likes of Ronaldo. He's 37. The likes of Nemanja Matic joining Roma now at 34, 35. So I think it's not going to be about the money, because we know Man United do have the money and they will not care how much they're spending on Casemiro. I think it's about the kind of brand they are bringing in. And I think Ten Hag, for me personally, I feel Ten Hag would have asked for another player instead of Casemiro. The class of De Jong, the caliber of De Jong, players that are more comfortable on the ball, and their ability is to keep the ball rather than fight in challenges and winning them. But I think United have decided we will go for a player who is very, very experienced in terms of that defensive midfield, but has formed that kind of brand, has also formed that kind of pedigree. It's a good signing. We need to agree to this. Man United, Casemiro is a good signing. 30 years of age, there is a concern there whether he can adapt to the Premier League, because there won't be a lot of time for him to adapt to the Premier League. It's a very, very physical league. It's a very, very big league with a lot of tenacity and a lot of requirements and demands. But for me, at the end of the day, you needed someone there, whether it was Casemiro, whether it was Caicedo, whether it was Ruben Neves or De Jong. Man United needed a defensive midfielder. One thing I'm going to say here is United will definitely need another player other than Casemiro in that midfield. Now they do have Casemiro. Ideally they do have Casemiro as long as they can agree a deal with Real Madrid. They will have Casemiro. They will have Bruno Fernandes, and they will have Christian Eriksen, Fred as well, and the likes of Scott McTominay. So they do have as many midfielders as they can. The question is, before the transfer window runs out, can they have some more quality signings just like Casemiro? It doesn't make any sense to sign Casemiro in this tragedy, because him alone cannot calm that storm at Man United. Now, we understand Man United are looking at a couple of other players, including Serge Milinkovic-Savic would be a very, very good buy, because as Casemiro wins up the ball in those deeper areas and picks up the ball in those deeper areas, he needs quality players ahead of him to progress that ball and go on and create those chances, because it's not going to create chances for you, as we know the kind of player he is. He's used to playing in that kind of deep line pivot where Cruz progresses the ball, and Luka Modric creates chances with the ball. So you need to have those clever players, ahead of him. I think Bruno Fernandes, it will actually work in favor of Bruno, because I think it literally means Bruno won't have to travel that distance, that huge amount of distance that he's been traveling while playing with the likes of Fred and Scott McTominay. Casemiro will be able to carry that ball into those high end areas of the pitch, and Bruno can concentrate on creating chances and becoming the player that we saw he can become when he just joined Manchester United. And that's why I think they desperately need a player like Serge Milinkovic-Savic. They desperately still need a player like Frankie de Jong. Now the deal is more unlikely, because spending 60 or 70 million euros on Casemiro means that they will not be spending over another 85 million euros on Frankie de Jong. So I think Casemiro comes at the expense of Frankie de Jong, but they need someone, probably a striker as well. They're looking at the likes of Alvaro Morata. They're looking at the likes of Kuncha and Juan Pereira Carrasco. If they can get another winger, probably in Carrasco, get a striker, move Ronaldo on. If he wants to get himself out of the door, move Ronaldo on, and just find themselves in that situation where they have 4 or 5 players, key players to rely on. David De Gea is a mess when it comes to playing with his feet. So I'm really very, very concerned about him. United have been linked with Meslier. If they can't get in a player good with his feet, a goalkeeper good with his feet, like Meslier, that will be a step forward. But I don't think really De Gea is a big concern at the moment. They can't live with him for another season. So I think Casemiro, good signing. Man United have agreed that deal in principle with the player. They're now proceeding to agree a deal with Real Madrid, which is going to be expected to be around 75 million euros. Anything that pops up here on the 90 More podcast, we'll be able to let you know. But for now, Casemiro to Manchester United from Real Madrid is very, very close.